Men treat me differently now. Like they want me to pay the bill. Oh, Maggie, can you take me shopping? Will you be my sugar mama? By the same guys who have asked me on like extravagant dates before. ChatGPT 3 just came out, and so AI was very new. AI was hallucinating heavily at that year. We had to use so much time to fine tune it. I even had to like go on dating apps to get users to come in and try our AI. We would upgrade my Tinder to Tinder Gold to like swipe 1,000 profiles in an hour. And obviously, like I'm now banned off all dating apps. You know, I had to do what I had to do at that time. My ex-boyfriend told me I would never get any job at Amazon because I did not go to an Ivy League school. When I got the offer, I held text him, hey, by the way, I'm in Seattle this summer at Amazon.
There was a story where a person was talking to a virtual girlfriend, and then his virtual girlfriend said him something that he didn't like. And then he believed that this is the new masters were rolling an update to the models, and it's not really what he used to have before. And he tried to do something about this by harming the company. Which character reminds you most of your ex-boyfriend?
Shrek. No, I'm kidding.
Sublime Avenue.
Sublime Avenue Podcast. And I have Maggie Sin, who is the most famous hologram of a chatbot in San Francisco. Yeah, and she's a very aspiring person. She runs a company, and it's an AI technology company. And she's also very well connected, and she has a very interesting story to tell about how she became the hologram. How do you feel about living in the future?
It feels great. Doesn't feel like the present.
Oh yeah. There's this surreal feeling that San Francisco and Bay Area overall built so much technology, but as soon as you step outside into the streets, like you don't really feel like this, right?
Yeah.
It feels like it's a bit lagging. So we kind of need to deploy. Well, actually, I do see interesting gadgets in the streets, such as, well, we have Waymo, which is normal thing here, right? So it's been out there for maybe 3-4 years by now. It's like it looks like a normal car, but there's nobody inside.
Yeah.
We don't have those like futuristic looking buses that are fully autonomous, and they don't even have that like a steering wheel or anything. But I think it's coming.
Yeah.
It's just basically a question of deployment. From the newest, what I've seen is they are trying to make use of the bike lanes for like small delivery vehicles. Mm-hmm. So it's basically a container box with wheels, and all it has is basically the compartment inside, wheels and maybe some like sensors to drive this in the bike lane.
It's so cute.
Yeah,
I've seen it for DoorDash.
Yeah, it's
that red
DoorDash.
vehicle.
Yeah, I think DoorDash has done this.
It's adorable.
Yeah, guys. So we're going to talk about all this cool tech today. But before we jump into the coolness of the future, let's step back and start at the beginning. So tell a bit more about your background. What about your family, your parents, if you siblings, if you have any?
Yeah. So I was born and raised in Los Angeles. I grew up in a very traditional Chinese household. My parents are from China, and my sister was actually born in China. She's older than me. And we have very strict parents. They were all about just keeping busy. Education is everything. We have after-school activities every single day. So I was enrolled in piano, violin, art lessons that include like sketching, watercolor, oil pastel, Japanese cartoon, private tutors, like just nonstop class after class after class every day. I don't think I had a single day where I could like just do nothing. And so growing in that environment, it was kind of like a bubble. So I live in a part in Los Angeles called San Gabriel Valley, which is a bunch of like Chinese immigrants. So it's so funny because people think Chinatown is where all the most Chinese people are, but actually there's more Chinese people in San Gabriel Valley than Chinatown in Los Angeles.
Right.
Yeah, it's a very suburban area. So I kind of grew up in a bubble, like pretty sheltered. Like I didn't listen to any radio, hip hop. I didn't know like what the cool artists or pop artists were. I listened to classical music like from like morning to night. Also played classical music with piano and everything. Yeah, so very different upbringing and environment than what I am now.
Interesting. So in terms of like cultural adaptation, would you say that you felt like you're in a bubble and you were struggling to kind of feel like the American side of your reality, or was it more of this enablement of your cultural roots, but the American culture was easily available to you?
Yeah, so the weird thing about growing up in a bubble is that I didn't know I was in a bubble. So I found out I was in a bubble when I left the bubble. So when I went to college in San Diego and met some friends, and like I was exposed to so many new things. Like going to the beach wasn't a thing that I would do in like in my environment. I mean, it wasn't that far away. It wasn't even like that. It's just like my parents were against me doing any form of exercise or like tanning. And so my friends in college would be like, let's go on an 8 a.m. beach run. I'm like, whoa, what's that? Or like, let's go on a road trip to nature. Let's try out camping. And they're just things I would just never like unheard of. Or like, let's listen to like, let's go to this music show with like a hip hop artist. Or like, I didn't even know who like these like big hip hop artists and pop artists were like until I like left home. So yeah, so it has really been very eye-opening for my first year in college. I realized that like how different I grew up in.
Right.
Yeah, and I was very excited to explore more. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess taking your shoes off when you enter the house. Nobody does it here. You know, it's just the streets are not dirty enough to necessitate taking shoes off, and then nobody just cares about like floors being dirty, and mopping floors is not a common thing here as well. You see, so that's maybe one thing. And I guess when you went to like dorms that are part of the college culture, you know, it was a bit shocking, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it was a very diverse floor I've lived on.
Right.
And we all shared like a restroom, like a big restroom. And so, yeah, different skincare products, that could be like big one too. Like I only grew up knowing like Shiseido because that's like a Japanese, like really famous, like Japanese beauty company that my mom only specifically used. I didn't know there was like other like brands like MAC or Lancome or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and for a reason, I think Asian cosmetics overall is multiple levels above what we are used to have access to, what we have access to here. And like I learned about the Korean brands, and you know they're so good.
Yeah.
Like I use sunscreens from Korean brands. I use this anti-acne thing, even though like in my age I'm not supposed to have any, but just in case, I've been using them for like a decade now.
Nice. And your skin looks great.
Thank you. And that's also the technology that comes with face apps and Facetunes.
Nice.
We'll get to that. You know, don't jump the gun yet. So yeah, I think there's definitely things that would allow you to kind of stand out and not worry, let you know to not worry about, you know, how you look, because the background you are coming from has all those problems solved. But also, I'm trying to find like any problem that is not solved in Asian culture. And I can't think of any, you know, because I think like it's such an ancient and rich and diverse culture as well on the other side of the globe, that like I think we here are just kind of catching up even though like on the western side of the globe we are kind of doing okay, but as soon as you go to like Hong Kong or, you know, like any metropolis of China, you're just blown away by, you know, the complexity and the richness of the environment there.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot more history there.
For sure.
Yeah, I'm very fascinated by it. I'm also going to Hong Kong in a few weeks, actually. So,
yeah.
My dad was actually spent 2 decades in Hong Kong. So it's like he actually spent more time in Hong Kong than like China, even though he's a Chinese person.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think one feature of a character that we do have here, and that might be very different, is the individualism. So this is what we are here. We are thinking about, hey, like I can do everything myself. You know, I'm you know, I have everything in me, and I only need other people around me to build a team when I feel like I need to delegate. Then there's just not enough time of me, or not enough skill or knowledge and whatnot. While on the other side of the globe, it's different. It's very like communal. It's very like everything we do is to benefit the communities, for the group of people, and so on. It's just what I've been told. I never lived enough anywhere where it's really communal. So I kind of wanted to learn about your experience of both sides of this.
Yeah, and you said it perfectly correct. So collective is the term collectivism for more Eastern, and then Western is individualism. Yeah. So so in growing up in a very traditional Chinese household, my parents would expect me to be married by 26 because they're like, well, you need to build a family and
so three more years for you to go.
You're so sweet.
Thanks.
I'm way past that. No. They worry about me all the time, and I'm like, why are you worried? And they're like, well, you don't have a partner. That's their biggest worry. And then they're like, we're not worried as much as my sister is, or worried about my sister as much as me. And the reason is because she has a partner, she's married. That's very interesting to me because I actually I think I grew up in a very Chinese household. I would identify more with the Western culture. I'm all about individualism, trying to do everything I can on my own. My mom doesn't work. And she hasn't worked for most of her life, actually. I think she had one job or something. And then most of the people in my family, it's very traditional, right? The woman stays home and then the male just is the breadwinner. And I actually don't really I don't really want that for myself. I actually want to be fully self-sufficient. If there's something I want to get it my own. I've never received any luxury handbags from a male. And I see all my friends get them and I'm like, wow, that looks pretty cool. I never got one. Yeah. I just buy everything on my own. Yeah.
I think that's a choice. It wasn't like that until maybe past 60 years was a massive transformation for the Western culture.
Yeah.
And I think what feminist movement gave modern culture is that women can be whoever they want to be. Now they have a choice. They didn't used to. They didn't used to have a choice before.
Yeah.
Now they can either be on the side where they still are more traditional and they expect expensive handbags, but also women can be the whoever they want to be. If they want to be the breadwinner in the family, even if it's a family of one, sure. If they want to build companies, and that's a segue to later topics about how you run your own startup and how you kind of compete with male-dominated area. But we'll jump into this. I know that you went to San Diego State for journalism.
Yes.
But then you kind of pivoted into Harvard Business School, and then you see Berkeley Haas. So how did that happen?
Yeah, so that's a really funny story. So my freshman year of college, I went to San Diego State University because I wanted to pursue public relations. I really liked social media and storytelling through brand and words and content. So my first freshman year, when people were getting internships, I got rejected from every public relations firm I applied to. The only internship I've got was at a startup. We did e-commerce, draperies and household house items, house decoration items. And I worked under an investment banker. And this guy taught me Excel, math, and me being a prior mathlete, I was a mathlete since I was in middle school. I was like, oh, this is very simple, intuitive for me. And yeah, so that was my freshman year internship. Did a lot of quant. And then my second year, I again did not get any internships in public relations, got rejected from all of them. But I got into UC Berkeley's School of Business. So I did their boot camp, which is one semester living at UC Berkeley, and realized I really liked it. And then my third year, I got an internship at Amazon as a business analyst intern. So I lived in Seattle for the summer. And I was like, okay, there's no way I'm going back to public relations.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was just like, okay, but if I want to double down on this, and I have to do actually real schooling for it. So I also did the program at Harvard Business School to kind of just solidify my pedigree for a business person. So by the time I graduated, and I also worked at Morgan Stanley too. By the time I graduated, I would have the optimal profile for business analytics jobs, which is what I did post-college. So I never went back to public relations, even though still to this day, I feel it is one of my passions. But I do it on my social media as a content creator.
Did you feel like it's a gap in your career when you went back to business schools, or were you able to continue like working first for some companies and then study at the same time?
I actually did it at the same time. Yeah. So I actually feel like I thrive on chaos. I like doing multiple things at once. Yeah, I like to have like multiple things going on, or like keep the ball rolling, because you never know what hits, and like sometimes things don't work out the way you want it to be. And yeah, I've never been that person to be like, I'm gonna focus on like one thing and one thing only. I like to like keep multiple things and like facets going on. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a common theme across a lot of entrepreneurs, this ability to not just survive in the chaotic environment, but also kind of like thrive. Like if you really love the fact that you don't know what you're going to do tomorrow, and you kind of have to figure out the priorities on the fly and what's most impactful, most important for whatever you're doing. I think that's one of the common themes and key factors for success in entrepreneurship at all.
Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah. So do you feel like you were born with this?
That's a good question. I think growing up, I feel like my environment has always been pretty chaotic. Like I never just did regular school, right? Like I always had like 2 or 3 classes or events given by my mom, signing me up for it every day. And so I'm so used to like doing like 4 things in one day. Like so regular school, regular homework, and then I had like an art class and then a piano class in a day, and then accomplishing like multiple things over the course of years. So maybe I think it is like maybe partially both, but I'm very used to that from when I started playing piano since I was like 3. So I've been like that since I was like, when I developed half a brain. Yeah.
So you speak 2 languages, I guess, right? Or more than one?
Yes. Yeah. I'm not that good at Chinese. And I don't even think I'm that good at English.
You're doing okay. I can understand you.
Thank you for understanding.
Yeah.
I'm a better like pen pal online.
But I think it's your chatbot is talking.
Yeah. Lots of training data we gave to them.
For sure. Yeah, let's get to this. It's clearly Mandarin, or it's Cantonese? Like which area?
Cantonese. So my dad's spent 2 decades in Hong Kong. My mom is from Guangzhou, which is southern China. Yeah, so I don't eat spicy food. I don't eat hot pot, and it's a Cantonese. Love dim sum, that kind of side of China.
Well, I mean, both languages have maybe more on the harder side out of all the languages you can possibly learn.
That very true. Yes. Can you tell my mom that? I'm kidding. I was also enrolled in Chinese school for Mandarin, and I was so bad.
They probably expected you to pick up Cantonese as you were growing up, okay? And even though it's a useful language now, and even increasingly more useful, given all the technology that has been built on the other side of the globe, right? And it's primarily the documentation for the technology is common in Mandarin or mostly Mandarin. Learning Mandarin, if you live in the culture in the country where it's not the primary language, might be not as useful. So I wonder how they felt about you, maybe not committing fully, or just kind of like were you disappointed? Did they feel disappointed about you not picking up Cantonese as much as they wanted you?
Definitely. Yeah. And when I was growing up, they were more disappointed. And then now they're more like, it is what it is. Yeah. I really wish I did Mandarin. In fact, they both speak Mandarin too.
Yeah.
But because it's more prominent in like businesses, not the dialect of Chinese. Cantonese in China I think it's just 8%, and that's a declining number. Yeah. So whereas Mandarin, it's like majority of the people in China would know Mandarin, and it's like the primary language for business. Yeah. So I think they're more, I think they kind of like wish I was trilingual, to be honest with you.
Trilingual. So which is the third one?
Like, well, Mandarin, Cantonese, dialect, sorry, maybe like 2, but then Cantonese, Mandarin, and English. But then I ended up with English and then like basic Cantonese. I can listen to Mandarin, but I can't speak it.
Yeah, I can probably also listen to Mandarin, but I probably won't get a single sentence.
Or just nod.
Which is still listening, I guess, at some point. Very cool. Okay, so last question on your background is, what's the thing from your childhood that you still enjoy doing and you wish you had more time to do?
Yeah, I think reading is one thing. I really enjoyed reading when I was younger. A lot of like fantasy and nonfiction books. And I used to run a book club and we're like used to as in like 2 years ago. And then things got so busy when I started my company that I couldn't like hold to it anymore. But I wish I had more time to read more about different topics. Yeah. I also really enjoy hiking and writing fantasy novels. That's what I used to do.
Yeah.
And it helps my imagination run. And then hiking, I just really like scenic photography. So I hike to take photos. I'm not really athletic. I don't work out. Yeah.
What about the latest trend in like around running clubs in San Francisco? Are you part of any?
I'm not, because I'm not that athletic and I'm not fit. I don't work out. But I also got injured this year. I fell on a glacier, so I had glute dysfunction, but I'm like about to be discharged from physical therapy. So so maybe I could start running, but a lot of my friends go to those running clubs, and it's really funny because some of them tell me like, if you're wearing a black shirt at the running club, you're apparently single and becomes like a dating running club.
It's a covered dating.
That's
dating
what I
club.
heard. Have you been?
Well, I mean, I don't think I need to invest that much effort into dating.
Oh,
because there isn't like a lack of people coming into my life.
Nice.
See, so for me, like dedicating time specifically for dating feels redundant. You know, not like it flex or anything. It's just, I think it's journalism, right? Journalism is a lot about communicating to people.
Yes.
And I have more people than I have time to talk to.
Yeah.
Doing this, and this is why we're doing the magazine. Podcasting is, by nature, is a very efficient tool to connect and communicate. Yeah, so to me, it's like, I don't think, I mean, I love sports, and I do sports on my own, but when I do sports, I'm there for specific kind of level of exhaustion. I would even prefer to be alone and not touched.
I'm with you 100%. I also think dating one-on-one is a huge time commitment with very low ROI. And I'm all about like scaling. And so that's why I was telling you, like, I like to be that person behind the computer or like behind the social media.
Yeah, sounds like you are the perfect creator in this case. So you can just scale your personality over.
Yeah, so I can reach thousands of people. Every story I post, I get like over 4,000 views per story. So it's like a very easy way for me to connect with a lot of people. And when I see people in person, it's funny because I always get this reaction where they're like, "Oh my God, Maggie, you're in the flesh."
Yeah.
Yeah. And it makes, I guess it's like, yeah, but I am trying to connect with more people and more intimately now. But it is still like a very big use of time. And I'm very selective about like those like smaller those smaller intimate groups I choose to commit to spend time with.
Yeah. I think selectiveness is what we don't see enough in modern culture overall.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah.
And this is why it's also like it's a choice, it's a lifestyle choice. Cool. But yeah, since we talk about social media, maybe let's swap the sections a bit.
Okay.
So what was the motivation for you to start putting content out there and then experimenting with different strategies? And we will talk about strategies in the next question. But like, what was your driver to become the social media person?
Yeah. So to be honest, in my friend group in college, I was the last person to install Instagram. And the first post I posted was honestly like a cup of instant noodles. That's how like, I was just like, I told everyone I'm never going to use this platform. Like social media is not for me. My parents also didn't let me have a social media presence, or they always told me to not be online. So I was very skeptical of it.
That's understandable. Very conservative approach.
Very conservative. Yeah. And I just started posting as my friends started posting more photos of like their life and random things. I just posted a bunch of random things like of like streets, some scenic photography. And then I posted photos of me and my friends. And then I started seeing like a bunch of like followers come in, like roll in. Yeah, a bunch of engagement. And I think in the beginning it was like pure like accidental. Like it just like kind of happened where like I had like 10,000 followers back then, which it meant a lot more than it is like now. And then I got excited. I'm like, oh, I'm going to experiment more. And also a bunch of my friends were also seeing like similar traction on their Instagrams when we like hang out together. So we did a lot of like like right now we would say like they're collaborations, but like back in the day, like there was no such thing as collaborations. Like it was just like, let's just do a story, like let's just do a post together. There wasn't even like tagging. Like it was so like back then. And we noticed that like the more we post about our lifestyle on like just post, and it's just like one photo back then, the more people would come and engage. And I also noticed that like the more frequently and consistently I posted like a few times a week, it would like kind of like double down and grow exponentially. And so that was like the early days. And then so I think in the last like 10 years, I've like slowed down because I had unfortunate incidents where like I was being stalked. And there was a bunch of like really like being like on social media, having like that social media presence when I was like really young was really scary because I didn't really have anyone to go to for help or like didn't know how to navigate like these like death threats that were coming my way. My ex-boyfriend got them. So I like didn't post my like significant other for like much since then because I'm so like scared that they're gonna get death threats. And then my friends also got them too because they're like associated with me. So I actually like had like a fake name for a while on my Instagram, and actually like throughout the years I made it private. So like I would say like my journey hasn't been like particularly linear. Like it wasn't like I'm gonna keep like growing it, and that's been the case. It's more like it's been sometimes reactive. And when I was interviewing for jobs, like I also like changed my name, made it private. Maybe even like sometimes like decide like maybe I should just like completely like quit this because like how much like unwanted attention I was getting. But then now I'm like kind of like I'm happy I have it because I definitely try to use it to my advantage, and it's become more popular for people to become influencers and creators. That creator economy has grown so much in the past like few years, which is awesome. And then now like my Instagram is, so I'm primarily on Instagram, but now it's more like experimental. I'm very curious. I'm not looking like, thankfully it's not my like daytime job or anything. I'm not relying it for a living. So I could be more experimental with it, and I could like try different things. So I kind of post like around like my authentic self in my opinion. Like I post like my thoughts, my entrepreneur journey, my friends, my lifestyle, scenic photography. It's kind of a mix of things. And I do see like specific parts like perform better than others. And I really like how like when someone I meet like visits my, like we'll exchange Instagrams, and we like they can see my profile, they're able to see like multiple sides because like within the limited interaction time we have in person, you can only like show so much, and people always find something to relate on with me, which has been very helpful.
Very cool, and you covered lots of ground with this. Would you say that your Instagram now helps with your entrepreneurial activity, with your like I don't know, like maybe marketing, or you probably guys are doing sales. We'll get into your own company, or is it totally separate and kind of orthogonal to what you do to make revenue for yourself?
Yeah, so I think being an entrepreneur, your personal brand does become part of your company, and people join and partner with your company for you and who you are. Like even my investors, I closed my round last year, and they kind of put a bet on the founders. Not like, well, they also believed in the product, but then there's so many instances where startups would turn and shift and pivot into something else. Luckily, we kept our thesis and product the entire time, so no wasted time there. But yeah, and I think it's been very helpful. I think a lot of our investors invested because they saw my social media and my reach and the content I was posting. That being said, I actually, when I meet people who others would put it on, like connect on LinkedIn, I would actually be like, no, let's exchange Instagrams. Like I want you to get to know me for me, not just like my pedigrees or like my job experience, because I think there's so much more to a person than just like what they've done and experienced in the past, even if it's professional. I think like you want someone you can trust, right? When you work with someone, and even if they're maybe not the most competent, or like may have the skills you want, like if they're like a quick learner and they're like genuine and they're like passionate, like I think that like supersedes any type of previous experience like someone may have, and that's also like what I hire for too.
Right. So it sounds like you are able to mix different sides of your personality together, and use one to grow the other one, and then the other way around. So you don't really have a choice of like being a businesswoman or being like a creator. And it's interesting to hear your position and your experience here, because I think what we do see in some areas of creator economy. So like, well, I mean, we cannot deny that there is OnlyFans right here. It exists. But as soon as you get there, like it's impossible to kind of go away from this. You see, it's kind of like you build a specific image of a creator for, it doesn't have to be like sexual content. It can be any kind of content. Just people think that OnlyFans is primarily for sexual content. But as soon as you build a name there, it just kind of haunts you till the end of days. In your case, you are able to capitalize on all the social media altogether, and it helps you grow your business, and it helps you secure funding.
Yeah, and like creator partnerships. We started with my friends first, right? My first users and users, investors, partnerships. They're all like people who follow me on Instagram or like is like a close friend of mine. But yeah, I think it all goes together. And I think that my like even when I do like previous podcasts, it's like all on my social media. It's not on my LinkedIn. And I think also like people like to see traction. I think distribution is something that people are going for more than they are like for like the technology expertise, because of the new AI products that are in the market now. Like you don't really technically have to be a technical founder or have like a lot of technical expertise, as long as you know how to like just do like use AI and then like know how to like have a distribution strategy to get traction. And I think that's like a powerful thing. That's what my investors liked. It's like, okay, well, like she has the distribution and traction. She's able to get like the first like 100 users at least.
I think, that's a very interesting outcome. And I totally agree with you that with generative AI, well, large language model specifically, it's very easy to build stuff, right? So you can use ChatGPT's Codex or Claude to do like architecture, and then to spit out the bits and pieces of code together. You don't really need to know much about languages on your own side. But I think selling and attract and building audiences and building communities is something that AI doesn't really do well at this point. You see? So seeing you actually have an authentic audience on any of the channels, social media channels, is clearly a positive sign. So that's why I can see how people want to give you money, because they know that if they give you money, then you can make revenue using this money, because you kind of showed that you can attract people's attention, and you can put some message out there this way.
Yeah. And then alongside, like my founding team is also phenomenal. Like we have like PhD in engineering from University of Cambridge as a CTO. And then we also have a serial entrepreneur who does like venture capital and private equity investments as another co-founder of mine. And so it's like, so I kind of serve as like that. I also worked at AI at Adobe in data science engineering. So I have an AI and technical background as well too. So that combined with my proven track record of being able to distribute and get traction in crowds and audience, build a community, build a brand. That alongside with my very powerful co-founders, that secured us the funding. And yeah.
And I think that's the power of kind of building your own group, where each member of the group has their own unique strengths, and then together you can build something that you cannot build on your own.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So you mentioned you were like Adobe data science.
Yes.
Experience. So I think the evolution from a business analyst into like a data expertise at Adobe, it sounds quite natural to me. I just wanted to learn, is it something that happened to you because you wanted to happen? You kind of were intentful about the company you want to work for, and you wanted to do specific things for the company, or was it more of like opportunity and evolution?
Yeah, so Adobe actually reached out to me for the role. I was about to apply to a bunch of positions. And
Instagram DMs, I guess.
I wish. It was all through LinkedIn, unfortunately. Yeah, so they actually reached out for the role, and I was like, okay, like sure, let me like interview for this. And then I got the role, and I was like, you know what, I don't want to interview anywhere else. Like really like the team I spoke with, and so I kind of got into it that way. It was a more reactive thing. And so so that's how I got the role. And then I really enjoyed it. Like, so when I started off, I was like working on multiple business segments. So I worked on like students, like creative cloud individuals, creative cloud teams. I was one of the first people to join the new B2B org at Adobe. And then Express, Firefly, which is like the AI generation. And so all that was super interesting to me. And then in the middle of my time at Adobe, they actually like changed my job code to data science engineering because they found that I was like doing a lot more like technical things than a regular like business analytics person. So that's kind of how it happened. And then with AI, of course, like there's more need for more data science engineers or like people familiar with like AI, ML engineering.
Yeah.
And so it kind of became that way.
It's training data. I think the data becomes fuel. For AI to grow.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So in terms of the skills, which one would you say helped you the most to get the most out of your data position at Adobe? And then which skill propelled you into the startup founder?
Yeah. So the skill that got me the most at Adobe would be pattern recognition. So looking for signals, anomalies, very quickly understanding like very intense like customer journeys throughout Adobe and like optimizing for like conversion, like top of funnel traffic growth. All that would be very helpful for my time at Adobe because I think not just like identifying something, but also just like having a solution for it, and then and like putting an actual like rollout for it, and then measuring the impact after. So that made my role at Adobe very valuable. So I'm like, I know exactly how much value add and like ARR, like each optimization we're pushing out, like delivered to grow Adobe's business. And Adobe's been a phenomenal company. It's been like 40 years old, and it's growing over 10% year over year consistently every quarter for revenue. So
I think mostly because subscriptions to Photoshop are growing. More expensive.
That's true. That's
where the growth is coming from.
That's what I love to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the other question was like soft skill or technical skill for the startup, right?
Yeah.
I think that one would be, I would also say pattern recognition too, actually. Like first starting up as a startup, like a lot less data to work with than Adobe. So we have to work with a lot of ambiguity, but then are we able to see like specific patterns through like less information? Can we like make a bet on what to double down on? So like making bolder bets with less, with a few patterns we're seeing, and then like moving very quickly would be like the most top skill for my startup.
Interesting. And you're not bringing up any kind of like soft skills.
Oh, soft skills.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I was expecting you would say, hey, so I talking to people and being able to making sure I'm heard and making sure, they understand me. This is very common. Like soft skills means everything not technical, not hard.
Sorry. Okay, sorry. Yeah. Okay, sorry. Let me
it's okay.
Soft skill.
There is no like right or wrong answers.
What are my soft skills? Let's see. Okay. Yeah, I would say negotiation.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be, I don't think negotiation has to be very formal. I think it's like actually the informal negotiation that happens through very informal messages, text, in a very disarming platform. So I did most of my creator partnerships in the beginning via like text message or Instagram DMs. And so that trying to convince influencers to use something new, and in like 2023 when ChatGPT 3 just came out, and AI was very new, and there's like a huge stigma against AI actually that year. Barely anyone was using it at that time. And so I had to convince like creators to be like, hey, trust me with your data, like trust me with your image. And so creators are scared to lose control of their image and brand.
Right.
Yeah. And so I had to like kind of like negotiate, make them feel comfortable with it. And again, like negotiation is not, I don't think I've ever had like a formal negotiation with anyone, but then even with like the people I hire or people I work with, it's all like I like informal settings and like where they feel like they're not even being negotiated against or for, but it's more like, oh, they want to do it for themselves. And so that's how we get our creators on board and to be ambassadors of our brand, promote our brand, because we actually run on 100% organic traffic, and that's all by influencers promoting it. And I don't pay any promotion posts or anything like that, like a lot of other brands would. And then also for like people we work with. So I had some friends who like came in and did some contract engineering work for no equity, no pay, for the experience and like for learning things. And so at the end of the day, it's like, how do you make someone feel good and like kind of like make them feel like that's exactly what they would want and they're getting a good deal out of it. I'm actually very inspired by the book Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that's where I learned most of my negotiation skills.
Yeah, he's trending now. It's like, I think that's what he tells. I don't know how much of it is true, but he says he has extensive background in like FBI, CIA kind of like high stake negotiations, which are unbelievably difficult.
Yeah.
And just the emotion control there, it just requires a very special type of personality. Yeah. Another one is, maybe you also use this one, from Harvard, get into yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's a bit more of like logical, like, hey, so you want this, and I think that the market is kind of like in a different spot. So can you meet me there? And then you kind of like, do this a bit of like back and forth and kind of trying to build foundation for your position. So it can get pretty tedious and maybe, I don't know if annoying is the right term.
Yeah.
But it's very logical. So if you are not like an emotional person, if you perceive the world through some rules, then Get into Yes would be a book that gives you like a formula.
I love that. I love books like that are very logical.
Like, with me, like every time I read a book, I'm trying to use some techniques or advice. Mm-hmm. And I can tell you a story. So I read that book, 6 years ago. Mm-hmm. And it was about the time when I needed to move. Actually, I was moving for my new job in South Bay.
Yeah.
And I found a place I totally loved. So I went ahead and, I was really like consistent. Hey, like guys, I have everything you need. Here's my new job offer. You can't find anybody. Actually, they can find, but I was doing pretty well there. And we got all the way to the point where I have the rent contract with the landlord. And I'm like, hey, I forgot to negotiate. I just read the book and I forgot to negotiate. So how would I do this? And then using this approach from getting to yes, I'm like, I need to find similar apartments that are trending at a different price. And then I can bring this up to the landlord and say, hey, so here's where I think the market is. And, this is where I think we should meet. And I got lucky because in the very same complex, there was a bigger place at a lower price. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, so it sounds too good to be true. Like how can this be a bigger place at a lower price? And I started to call like the property management there, and they are not picking up. And then I went to like Yelp to find any information about the property management of this place. And it's all bad reviews. People say, hey, we live there and it's terrible, just don't live there and so on. So I'm like, okay, so now I see why the price point is lower, but I need to like some kind of like evidence that this place is actually available. It's not just some kind of fake.
Yeah.
So I'm starting to call the number, and after like maybe like a week of calling, somebody finally picks up the phone and like, hey, listen, so I see you're posting on Zillow. I'm interested, can I take a look? And they finally connect me to somebody who can show me. And the GPS doesn't lead to the right address, so there is some issues with finding this. So there is a bit of back and forth. Finally, we get to the point. I go in, and the walls are painted in all kind of random colors: green, red, yellow, blue. Like every wall is of its own color. And I'm like, well, so what's up with the colors of the walls? Well, I mean, the previous family kind of, painted this without telling us. I'm like, okay, so you guys are advertising this spot, and the walls are painted, and you don't want to kind of like repaint it back. Well, so it turned out that the property management is not really like on top of this unit, even though it's available. And I'm like, well, hey, I'm taking all this, I'm taking all the photos, videos, and whatnot, and all my communication, and then I'm writing like a letter to my landlord. Like, dear landlord, like as much as I love your spot, I found another spot, like two blocks down, that is lower price, and this is the reason why it's a lower price. You see, so I'm showing them all the photos and whatnot. This way, I'm kind of removing all the like pushbacks that they can possibly give me.
Mm-hmm.
That it's a fake listing, fake unit and whatnot. So I'm showing them, hey, I've done all the legwork, and this is the reason why it's lower. But because it's lower and it's still available, I can repaint all those walls myself and still, get a lower rent. And they're like, well, all right, so what do you want? I'm like, well, okay, so how about we meet there? Basically, I saved, I think over 3 years, I saved something like maybe $5,000 or $6,000.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah. That's the value of
you should write a book.
Well, I mean, all I've done is basically getting to yes and applying the principles from this. So this is a negotiation. But I mean, yeah, it makes sense to do this. If you have time and if you have passion, if you just want to apply new knowledge. Very cool.
Mm-hmm. There's always opportunities everywhere to negotiate.
Yeah. I mean, things are not, I mean, it would be weird if you go to like a CVS pharmacy.
Oh, yeah.
I think this medication should cost this, not that. That maybe it would be a bit weird. But like in any kind of like market where there's supply and demand, in real estate, in like creator economy, everywhere, like even job negotiation is a must, right? So as soon as you get an offer, I mean, rarely you just take it as you're trying to see if there is any like room to negotiate this. Very cool. So, sorry, it's about you, not about what I.
No, thanks for the story. It's awesome.
Yeah. So, do you think that your entrepreneurial journey started at the right time? Do you think that or did you wish you would have started earlier?
I think I started at the perfect time.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a time, again, like ChatGPT 3 just came out. And so AI was very new. It wasn't as utilized as much as it is today. And so I think I started at the right time because I was one of the pioneers of using voice AI to emulate people's voices on our platform. And so being a pioneer in any space gives you a leg up on marketing because people are like, this is so interesting. What is this? This is creepy, right? Like we're going to get all that stuff every time you do anything new. So if someone was to make the same company as I did now, like I don't think it would be as shocking now than before. So I think we did it at the perfect time. Granted, like it was pretty hard because AI was hallucinating heavily at that year. Like now AI has gotten so much better with the new like ChatGPT models and everything. But back then it was really hard. Like we had to use so much time to fine tune it. Like, and a funny story is I even had to like go on dating apps to get users to come in and try our AI because I ran out of friends to ping to try it out so we can get more data.
I would like to see this profile. Like how did you frame yourself that you are collecting like experiences and information?
So I just told people to message me here on that platform, on my platform.
Oh yeah.
And then my co-founder we would upgrade my Tinder to Tinder Gold to like swipe 1,000 profiles in an hour. And obviously, like I'm now banned off all dating apps. But hey, it was worth it. We got really valuable.
Next time you see an attractive woman on a dating app, she's building her own AI company, okay? She's not there to date. Keep this in mind.
Exactly. Yeah. And I also got recently unbanned from Hinge because I had a friend who had appealed for me who works there. And then they're like, hey, we respect the hustle, but you did violate the terms of service by sending people over to your app. But I'm like, I had to do what I had to do at that time. But yeah, it was that hard, right? It was so hard because I didn't want to like tell all my audience on Instagram just yet because again, AI was hallucinating so badly at that point. It took us like 6 months to like fine tune it to something that it was a lot better. And obviously my earlier creators were super, super like nice about it. About like some of the weird responses that like their fans would receive. And so, I mean, like starting, that's like kind of like the con of starting early. It's like you have to do a lot more work to compensate for like that gap from like go to like an MVP. But at the same time, it's like that distribution and the brand recognition, like that kind of thing. Like I feel like it was so worth it. Like people are now spending like so much more money to capture like people's interest in this new AI company. Where it's like for me, it was like there was barely any of that back then.
Right, and speaking of business ideas, I think it's a massive opportunity for a service that would know enough about pretty much anybody. Well, maybe like Facebook gets there. Such that every new company doesn't need to ask you all those questions about your like email address, your gender, and whatnot. So it's like you just sign up to a new service, and your profile is already there. Okay. Well, of course, given that there is consent for that.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, we don't collect any personal information at all. Actually, yeah. So it's literally just like a user ID that's like a number string. So I actually don't know who's messaging. Yeah. But I can tie a conversation to people.
What do you think is the most difficult thing to do in your day-to-day life on running a company?
I think context switching is probably the hardest because there's always so much going on. And I also feel like I've like developed some sort of anxiety with it, which I think having anxiety and over paranoia on your job makes you a better worker, in my opinion. So you always get down to the bottom of things and you're able to find things that may not be surface level. Context switching, like dealing with multiple teammates on different projects, keep being organized. Sometimes I'm in like 2 calls at once and I have to like speaking in both. So I have to navigate both of that, or like going from like a pretty heavy meeting to like, a one-on-one with a team member and like trying to like encourage them to like and motivate them, and then going to a very serious like bug triaging meeting. Just like very compartmentalizing my feelings, and then just focusing on like what we can accomplish has been like the hardest part. But I think now that I developed like, a shorter attention span, I've been doing a pretty good job at context switching, which makes it harder for my day-to-day. Like I've developed like pretty bad sleeping habits. It's hard for me to like stay awake the whole night now.
Wow.
It's funny because some of the best ideas I've like had for my startup were actually at like 3 a.m. in the morning when I wake up in the middle of the night to see if everything's okay, like see if the tech is working and everything. Like I did a really good retention strategy plan, which I like typed out in like a 2-page document, and that was actually pretty valuable. So pros and cons to it.
So would you say like high level of stress keeps you like waking up at night, or is it just the pattern you developed that helps you be more efficient?
Yeah, I think it's stress, and then just always thinking multiple things at once. It's really hard for me to wind down and relax. I don't really know how to relax and chill.
Wow.
If anymore since I started my company, because there's always something you can do. There's always something you can improve on, optimize on, be better. And then I also worry about like all parts of it, right? Like, am I doing the best I can? Did this person receive that feedback well? I mean, like, I don't think that's like necessarily good to like always worry. So like, I try to be like as action oriented as I can. But like, I will say like when I turn off my laptop at the end of the night, like it comes back to me, and then I have to like, learn how to meditate and like kind of like relax and like go from like a very like chaotic high context switching, like 10-hour session to like, let me try to zone out of everything. Like that's very difficult. So I do wake up in the middle of the night, like every night, to like look at my phone and check notifications to see if there's check if the tech's all working and everything's all working.
Okay, understood. I think maybe getting back to like exercising habits is something you can maybe try. Well, it's not like taking pills, even though you can definitely control this with medication, but just introducing some level of physical activity by the end of the day would allow you to kind of switch out and then relax. And if you happen to exhaust yourself, then you just fall asleep naturally. And it doesn't have to be like weightlifting. It can be something you enjoy doing, like swimming, like walking, for example. Like go on a run, or do like some kind of like cycling session as you watch some metrics going up or down. But physical activity it will force your brain to stop thinking about work all the time, because your brain needs to control other parts of your body.
Yeah. And I totally agree with that. That's like what my therapist tells me too. It's just I got injured in April.
Yeah, that would be $200.
Yeah, so like I got injured, and so I couldn't really do.
I might charge now for this kind of therapy.
It's just that, so I got injured earlier this year, so I couldn't do any physical like activity. Like it actually even hurt me to like sleep or like lay down.
Wow.
I couldn't even walk. It was really rough for a few months.
Wow.
Actually, so I just stayed home and worked all the time, and I actually developed like workaholism, where like it was like I was like, okay, even if everything is crumbling, I'll just like work harder, and that was very fulfilling, right? That's when my company grew so much. It was when I was working, like I was like heads down working. And high levels of context switching. I think people like would describe me as like typically a very fast talker, like thinking about a million things at once, high processing speeds. But then, like there are like consequences that come with that when you're not at work. And like being a human, it's like you can't always be like up. And I don't even drink coffee. Like it's like kind of like natural energy and adrenaline I get when I work. Yeah.
Interesting. I know like tea is a has massive role in like Eastern culture.
So I really like matcha.
Green tea, oolongs, and what else? The pu'er.
Oh yeah, pu'er. It's a big one. That has no caffeine though, or minimal caffeine.
Yeah. There's different ways. It's pretty much same bush, but different ways of preparing this bush. And then depending on how you prepare it, you can have some number on the scale of caffeine, some number on the scale of taste, and whatnot. It's a very interesting culture. I also love tea.
Nice, awesome. I get very jittery when I take coffee, and so, but honestly, like naturally, I'm just a very high energy person to begin with. But then ever since I started my company, I was like forced to stay up like sometimes like 21 hours a day to like monitor things. And so I definitely lost a lot of sleep and like probably aged a lot in the last 2 years. But I think that's like any founder has to kind of like do that. Like I think in Silicon Valley, like all the great founders I know, like they don't, they're always on, like they're always working, they're always 24/7. You ping them, they're always on. Like in my startup, like everyone on my team has very high response times. Not because I enforced it, I never enforced anything like that, but it's just naturally so, and that's how we work fast.
Low response times. Like I'm
sorry. Yes.
Because high response times,
let's
I'll reply in a week.
I'm sorry. Very low response times.
Low latency,
Yes, yeah. So we even have this like running, like this like funny thing. We hire like an engineer from like Philippines. And we have this like race where every time he's like, hi, good morning, we all like race to say hi. And whoever says hi first wins. Yeah, that's like, it's like really funny. Sometimes when we're all together, we'll be like distracting each other in person. So we're the first ones to like say hi.
And it's funny that you mentioned the Philippines. There's so much talent there. Yeah. And I also work with Filipino people.
Nice. Their English is great. They're hardworking.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Perfect. And you never know if it's a chatbot or an actual person.
Hey, as long as we get the work done.
As long as they get the work done. Sure. Cool. So you talked about your co-founders, and the question I'm going to put it this way. So
Yeah.
there's clearly not enough like female founders, like by no means. And this studies continuously are showing that companies founded by women perform better, have much higher return. Well, not much higher, but consistently higher return on investment. Okay. That said, the qualities that you need to be successful as a founder are probably, and I'm going to put quotes here, are more male. Because for male, it's like it's natural to be assertive, to just take action instead of asking what others think about this. Like overall, it's much more common for a male to be successful in business than it is for a woman, and it also puts maybe like a glass ceiling there, but also puts some kind of expectations, like hey, like you're a girl, and I'm pretty sure that your parents are kind of reminding you sometimes about this, that you're expected to, or you're supposed to do something.
Yes.
While you are doing the very different things, and you feel happy about this. So, like, how it is to be like a successful founder, a woman among majority of male founders, and overall like engineers, business people, and all the other roles.
Yeah. So I think the biggest thing is community. So like knowing that like when you are a woman in AI or a tech, that you're not alone, and there's communities you can join. So I'm also a founding member of Women in AI. So we bring together women who are AI leaders who have like funded startups, and we have chapters in LA, New York, and SF. And so we have each other's like backs. We're emotional support. We're all friends. We also help introduce each other to like investors, and we actually like make it like there's a lot of events where we make it a thing where it's like, hey, can your fund actually allocate funds to invest in women founders? Because I think there's like pattern recognition happening with a lot of like VCs and investors where they see physical attributes of someone that looks like a successful person in the past, and that typically becomes like a male, right? Like a male person. That's what they think of when they think of like a CEO.
What do you mean by physical attributes?
Like a white male. Yeah. It's like a very successful, and that's because in the past, right? That is the profile of someone very successful.
Yeah, it's fascinating because the data shows that if you are a white male and you are like 6 feet something above, you have multiple fold higher chance of being successful in business. Like all the CEOs are like, well, it used to be. I agree. Now it's changing. It's changing.
That's changing.
And that's good. But it used to be that all the CEOs were like super tall.
Yeah.
White males.
Yeah. And so there's that we have to go against, right? And I do want to mention some of the challenges that women go through when playing this field. So like one is tokenization, like being seen as, oh, you are that female founder. You're the diversity pick, instead of being like,
Stigma.
Instead of being like, oh, you're actually a top tier entrepreneur. But some people might be like, oh no, she's just here because she's a female.
for diversity and inclusion.
Yeah, like tokenization, right? Yeah. And then there could be like backlash for confidence. So sometimes when women are very assertive, it can be seen as aggression or arrogance, right? So if a male and female said the same thing, some people would be like, oh, the male is just being a male, like being normal. And then a woman's like, oh, that person is very arrogant.
So true, it is a double standard there for sure. Like what men can get away with, women have harder times to get away with. Okay, so it's clearly a double standard. And I have a question, but I'm going to give you some room so you can finish.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Yeah, so my favorite question is, so as you grow in this environment of picking up the necessary skills for success, do you feel like you are maybe losing the connection to your like feminine side more? Do you feel like you're becoming more of a like picking up more of a male qualities, and if and how it translates into your like dating experience.
Oh, definitely. That is definitely how I feel. I definitely feel a lot more masculine. And yeah, I think, and even like for dating, like back then I used to be like men treat me differently now. Like I get asked to be like
Split the bill.
spoiled. Like they want me to pay the bill.
Oh,
and they're like, "Oh, Maggie, can you take me shopping?"
Next step, one step further.
I'm like, I never even got a bag from anyone.
Wow,
and they're like,
sugar
Maggie,
mama.
that's what they asked me. They're like, will you be my sugar mama? I've never, by the same guys who have asked me on like extravagant dates before. Like it's funny. It's definitely shifted. And I feel like it actually is like worse for me, right? Because I think I'm still feminine inside, but I do act pretty masculine, like at work, and majority of my day I'm pretty masculine. But like honestly, like for dating, it's like I actually want to be feminine, and I still want the same things I did before. It is like I think work and dating is very different, but like some people believe that like my personality at work bleeds into my dating. I think the only difference is like I'm just a lot busier, so I'm always working.
Yeah.
But that being said, it's like I feel like it's like I still want the same things, but people treat me differently.
Yeah, and I think another factor here is that since you work so much, you basically never plug out. So there is no like a switch. Hey, so like today I'm done working right now, and now I need to go back to my feminine self and just go on a date. Right? That never happens because, like you're on a date and you're like, it's a nice restaurant and you're having a dinner, and then you get a call because your servers are down and everything explodes and you're back to your like business side of you.
Yeah, that's exactly. I usually bring my laptop when I'm out with people, and not even just dates, right? Just like even friends. I'll be like, hey, I have 15 minutes.
Between Slack messages. Yeah. Like, okay, so how much do you make? Sorry.
Yeah. Like it's gotten so crazy, like to a point where I was doing 15-minute meetings because that was the only time I could afford to catch up with my friends in the neighborhood. Wow. So I'm like, I can't even do a 30-minute meeting because I need to go back home in time for another meeting. Yeah. So I think my like personal life definitely took a hit. Especially in the first like year and a half when you're building out your company. Because that's like everything you do, like this is not going to be published or in prod unless you like do the things that are needed to, right? So like every minute you spend is like important. Yeah.
Do you feel like you are losing something because you had to change your personality so much due to business reasons, and you cannot attract a partner of your desire because this partner is looking for qualities that you don't have anymore? Or do you think that eventually you will evolve into somebody and you'll just need to find the right person?
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's a pretty hard question to answer. I can see, I definitely feel like it's definitely taken a toll, like a hit on, like starting a company takes a hit on my dating life. I mean, like none of my founders were dating in the first.
There's just no time for this, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like if you were like, are you not committed to the company? Like, why would you go on a date when you're like trying to start a company, right? Yeah, so I'm like newly like getting back into it, like very slowly, very recently, like as of like last week. Yeah, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to like figure that part of my life out too. Yeah.
When you say you get back to this, like, what do you do when you feel a desire to kind of give it another try? Do you install all the dating apps, or like what's your ways of advertising yourself, so to say?
So I'm banned, right? I'm banned on Tinder and Coffee Meets Bagel, but I am on Hinge. I have not been on a Hinge date at all. I think it's more like for me to realize that there are a lot of people out there. I don't think I will go on a Hinge date. I'm more like, I already know so much people in San Francisco and also in different places in US, like New York. Right. Like if they wanted to go on a date with me, it's probably going to be like someone I know who wants to convert. And I feel like that's like higher ROI than like getting to know someone completely new for the purpose.
Sure. And that's actually a better way to find the person that you are more compatible with.
Yeah.
Because when you, like I've been on dating apps maybe 6 years ago.
Okay.
I'm not using them at all anymore. all my communications are happening through social media and through the activity that I have to do to run this company. And because you know so many people, there's a very high chance that there is some number of those people who are into you, and you just need to kind of make things happen in such a way that it converts into a romantic relationship and not just a friendship. You see, but because people know other people, you can check if they are honest, if they have integrity.
Yeah.
You're not going to maybe experience any kind of creeps, any kind of people who have bad intentions towards you, because the circle of your friends kind of vetted them already. You see, and therefore, as much as running dating app is actually really good business, those companies are not really helping you to meet the people you want. They are there to sell you spotlights or whatever cool features like DMs. They are there to make money off of people who are desperate finding somebody, and that's why I kind of stopped doing them. And the results are very different. Very different.
Yeah, their KPI is retention, right? They need to retain in order to retain you. You have to be single.
You have to be single, yes. So they can retain you as a customer, 100%.
Yeah.
Have you ever been underestimated by a person, and then you just made a point to prove them wrong, and it became a success story?
Yes. So my ex-boyfriend in 2014 told me I was applying for internships at that time, and I was in college, and he told me I would never get any job internship at any big corporation like Amazon because I did not go to an Ivy League school, and there's only 5 spots for the business analyst intern. Well, it was the day we broke. It was the day we broke up. But he was like, I didn't want to hurt you, but by the way, you were never gonna get one. And he also had a friend who was a full-time person at Amazon who was like, dude, we have 3,000 applicants for 5 positions, and they're mostly Ivy League. So tell your girlfriend she's never gonna get it. But he didn't have the heart to say it, but he did say it. That was his last sentence. And I was like, I cried, and I was just so hurt. And I'm like, I have to get this internship. And so I studied a lot. I memorized Case in Point. It's a book for case studies. And when I did the interview, I actually did it for the MBA internship for the business analyst, and that was only one position. And at that time, I didn't have an MBA, but they were saying my scores were higher than the MBA interns that applied, and that's why I got the one position. And I made my way to Amazon. And I remember texting him when I got the offer, I didn't say anything, but the day I moved to Seattle for that summer, I texted him with a photo.
Screenshot of the, blurred out the details, but screenshot of the offer for the internship.
I was like, hey, by the way, I'm in Seattle this summer at Amazon, the place you told me I'll never be able to join.
Nice job.
Yeah, so that's I felt like that was my winning moment, and I'm I don't need people to tell me what I can't do.
I love it. Yeah, it's a very, very good lesson from here. And I worked for at least 2 big tech companies, and I've been an intern manager, and I can say that nobody looks at Ivy League or whatnot. Okay. It helps for sure, but what actually helps is working your ass off. Okay, getting there. And if you outperform majority of people who are in Ivy League, but you are just better and faster and smarter than them, you're going to get the offer and not them. I see. There is of course politics, and if your team and your manager and your whoever is in the chain of decisions is also from Ivy League, then there might be some biases.
Yeah.
But larger corporations actually are developing trainings to catch those biases early and go away from them. So you just proved that this is how businesses are looking for the best return on the money.
Yes.
Okay. And Ivy League is just a signal, one of the signals of the maybe hundreds of signals out there.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, let's talk about your favorite topic, which is your company, My Companions. And my understanding is that you guys are building technology to scale communications for creator economy.
Yes, we automate fan interactions.
Yeah. And there you also go as far as using 11 Labs for like voice cloning. And the question for you ahead is, you probably are thinking about, can we clone the video? Right? And I don't know if you are there or not.
Yes, we are.
Very cool. And we can talk about technologies. We can talk about where the company is going and all the like competitors on the space. The first question though is, how did you realize that this is something that where opportunity is? And you probably looked at other companies that are doing similar things, which is taking large language models as the foundation of the communication and then applying them to a specific use case.
Yeah, so I realized there was an opportunity when I look at my own inbox of DMs.
Yeah.
And I do scan through, I try to look through like most of them, majority of them as much as I can, given time. And then I realized that like I actually missed some like really great messages that I would actually respond to. And I will also see some fans just try to reach out over and over again to like no response. And I'm like, there has to be a better solution to this where we can automate fan interactions. Like we can have an AI model kind of emulate a person's voice, text, photos, and videos, and also personality, context, background, personality. Then it'll be like a two-way communication channel instead of like a one-way. And so that also unlocks like monetization opportunities. Like, would the fans pay to speak to a creator? Yes, they would. But would they do it to an AI model of the creator? Depends, right? It depends. But there is a market out there that would, because it's all like mentally, they're like, I want to believe that is like the creator, and like the voice and like the multimodal like options we offer make it very believable. And so that's how we decided to like make an MVP of this. With me first, I was the first creator on our platform, and then we tried it out like with my fans, and then a lot of people liked it, made revenue. Like the first day I launched and posted it on my story. And then it became like, I would enable like my friends who are influencers to run their own AI enabled business and be ahead of the AI curve. And so that's why like my first creators were all my friends, because I want them to be more entrepreneurial, on top of their like amazing jobs they already had. But to also be like an early adopter of AI, as I saw this as it's going to be the big thing. I don't think it's going to go away. And so I think like my friends and I like help each other out. And then from there, like we kind of like grew massively. And now we have like 500,000 users, organic.
Great job. Yeah. Differentiating factor here. So I clearly see the market fit for the creator economy, but technology wise, we have other companies that are building like smaller applications of LLMs, which is like character, there's replica, which is like virtual girlfriends and so on. Meta has its own like characters. Even ChatGPT now is offering some flavor of like personal companion, which can go into like romantic topics as well. So it's all technology that is built on LLMs and then allows people to interact. So how is your special sauce different? Or what makes it special?
Yeah, so two things. We train on real user data. And number two is our fine-tuning model that gives us our moat. And so I like to say our conversations are more engaging and personable. It feels like you're talking to a real person or like the actual influencer we're emulating. And then we also help the influencers monetize. So if you want to pay for more chats, like so part of the revenue goes to the influencer to support them for their likeness. And then you can also like buy content. So it enables like direct monetization opportunities. And that is very different from like the other companion chatbots. And I love how all these companies are doing companionship. And that is the number one use case for Gen AI, because it really helps with like loneliness, like accessibility to someone. And that was definitely an issue like during COVID, right? Like where we saw like a spike in like a lot of like people with like mental health or feeling lonely. And so I love that, but we are very different from all those, and we emulate real people, and we work like very closely with their creators to kind of protect their image.
Very cool. What would you say was the most difficult part of building the product? Is it like psychology? Is it the economy specifics, or is it the technology?
Yeah. So I think it's helping. It's kind of helping the creators control their own image, and then like fine tuning the AI to. Like we use the LM based model, right? But we have our own fine tuning against it. But how do we like make sure we're like protecting that image? Do we have guardrails? Like, do we have like trigger words like that we like look for? Are we like making sure everyone's like following, like not violating, not saying anything like absolutely crazy, like making sure like there's like, there's like an appropriate response to any type of message we get, because it is kind of like free form. Like anyone can just say anything. Yeah. So I think that, and protecting the creator's brand and image is like I really stand for that, because I know how hard these creators work for that, being my creator myself. So I think that's like been the hardest. And also just trying to convince them to trust us, that we're like doing everything we can, that we're like always on. We have like someone monitoring conversations 24/7. We have like dashboards to flag specific keywords and everything. So so like trust in technology.
Trust and safety is a huge area that kind of has to be done right. Otherwise, we're going to get into a lot of unfortunate stories and tragedies. I think it's like on the news that addressing the loneliness pandemic, which I think is going on for maybe 5 or 10 years by now. It's difficult to fully control the interaction. And sometimes those interactions lead to actions that people take that we probably don't want them to take. And the way we know about those actions is because there's some kind of lawsuit on the news that, some like teenager was talking to one of the like LLM enabled companions, and then this teenager decided to like do like self-harm or whatever. I hope it never happened to your product, and you don't have to to address this topic. And just overall, I think those kind of things are they're very serious, and they are difficult to get right, because if you want to give freedom of the communication, you cannot control the perception of this kind of communication. And even if you put all kind of labels on the on the chatbot, hey, and they say this is not a real person, it's just computes the probabilities of next word to say based on what it already has in the conversation and so on. It doesn't really have accountability for what it's saying. Okay, so whatever the person, regardless of the age, gets out of this conversation is pretty much up to them. So like with teenagers, it's very obvious because they don't have a good understanding of what's real, what's not.
Yeah.
But even the adults, I'm pretty sure there's some adults that are like talking to this person thinking, hey, so this technology understands me, and that's real enough for me to kind of trust it and give it all my thoughts and all my personal information. So there always will be some amount of misunderstanding that can lead to tragedies. Yeah. So the question for your head is, do you think that's undermining the initial premise that the technology will help with loneliness, or do you think that we just don't know how to get things right yet, and with time we will have less and less of the cases where misunderstanding of this communication leads to some tragedy?
Yeah. So I think I urge people to not see AI or any chatbots as a replacement for professional help or professional care. And they should seek professional care if they were going through something like that. If they were going through self-harm, to seek like a real doctor, see someone licensed. AI chatbots provide accessibility, where if you need someone at that point, it's there, but it does not replace the actual medical help people need. And I think just recently ChatGPT released this update that we're no longer giving medical analysis or like conclusions. Yeah. I mean, I actually used it for some of my medical, blood work and everything, and I felt like it was very helpful. But I understand why they had to do that, right? And it's basically like, I mean, I think what you like mentioned earlier, that issue like being a real one,
Yeah.
And they're addressing it and doing the right things for that. And it's even for anything in technology, I think like we're always like learning. We're always like, it's not going to be perfect from day one. And so there are going to be situations and lawsuits, anomalies, and like people who've used it and didn't have like a great interaction with it that caused them to do more negative harm to themselves. But it's also good to also like focus, not to focus, but also to think about all the positives that come with it, that it has provided people with someone to talk to at that moment and then and there. And so I think we just all need to like spread that like this is not a replacement for professional help or like care, especially in the medical field. Yeah.
Yeah. That's clearly a way. I don't think it's a complex issue because sometimes the use cases don't really assume that it's a kind of like psychotherapy situation. It's like, imagine because we're addressing loneliness pandemic, imagine your favorite virtual girlfriend suddenly malfunctions, okay? And you think that she's this kind of like she's kind of like this virtual being somewhere, and then her masters or the servers that she lives in are trying to do harm to her, okay? And if you don't understand that this is not real, you might be incentivized to take some action against the owning company of this technology. You see, and like again, it's a real story. Okay, my favorite question is on the general intelligence. So LLMs are just one of the forms of machine learning. So it's a neural network that is being trained on tokenized words. And the reason why it's so good with, for example, spitting out code is because code is also language.
Yes.
And there is some probabilities of, say, like if you write down like for or if, then there is some maybe else and whatnot. So there is some probability that a specific word will follow. And that's why LLMs are so good at sounding like they are humans on the level of talking.
Yes.
Okay, but besides of that, we have a lot of other technology. And therefore, like with ChatGPT and larger and larger models, we see that they can be unbelievably efficient and unbelievably intelligent on specific tasks, but maybe not on some other tasks. And by no means this kind of intelligence is similar or equal to how human brain processes this on a bunch of different factors. And I can talk about why human brain is very different from even the smartest chatbot you can possibly experience, at least for now. But I wanted to get your thoughts on what do you think we are lacking? So with all the advancements in AI and all those trillions of dollars actually spent on research in AI, what do you think we are lacking from building like actual generalizable intelligence?
Yeah, so like you said, AI is great at predicting what's likely probable, the correct answer for something, but it doesn't ground it. So it's good at making it seem like it reasons with you, but it actually doesn't understand it.
It doesn't, yeah.
Yeah, so we have to see when AI can get to the point where it actually understands and can reason on its own before we see it to be like more generalized, in my opinion.
And what do you think we are lacking from having AI to actually understand and reason? Is it like GPUs? Is it like another $15 trillion to spend on this? Like whatever.
Yeah, that right. I mean, I think
so. The scale, basically.
It's the new AI engineers that Meta and OpenAI are poaching for hundreds of millions. they would know like what it takes to get there. But like I mean, I personally don't know what it takes to get there. But to have AI be able to reason and actually like become an actual form of intelligence instead of a prediction model.
Now, when we look at how human brain and actually animal brain, because our brain is much more complex, but fundamentally it's still an animal brain, is that we use much more information for training than even the most advanced LLM at this point uses. And specifically what I mean is that LLMs are primarily about language, right? So it's tokens of words. Yes, there are so many different languages there, and also if you add all the programming languages, so it can amount to maybe trillions of tokens, right? But in humans, the language appeared in this current form maybe 50, 60,000 years ago. And our ability to even put it down, write it down, and then read back is even younger than this. But much before, for almost 1 million of years, this is what we currently look at in terms of like modern humans, we've been processing information through images. And it's not just we've been training our brain on images in some like batches that machine learning is doing. It's never ending, impossible to stop stream of information. You can close your eyes and kind of stop it, but then you open your eyes back again and it's still coming at you. And you have to develop a neural network that is capable of understanding if that's something that's coming at you is food, is danger, is your mate, is your like friend from the tribe, or if you're an enemy and whatnot. You see immediately, and still use maybe a couple hundred watts of power compared to gigawatts that current LLMs are using. You see, the reason why we're able to do this is because we had whole million years to build this kind of brain. You see. But what LLMs are not doing is not training on this amount of visual data at this point. Maybe the closest we can get to this is if we look at how computer vision and like self-driving cars are operating. And even there, the scope is very limited to just using the steering wheel, brake, and gas pedal, and only within the roads. You see? So I think this is going to be the next leap in artificial intelligence as soon as we develop capability for neural networks to train on this amount of visual data. And not just in batches, but more of in real time. So it will keep coming at them and they will get smarter every second because of this. Of course, it requires much different infrastructure because you need to rebuild the model pretty much every time. So the iterations are just never ending, and the capacity to compress. I've seen some white papers on compressing the images to some like sense. This is what we have in our brain. We make sense of everything we see. We don't remember the actual pixel by pixel. We make sense of them. So it's a compression, and then it's much easier to process this compressed information in real time than it would be like full resolution image. Yeah. So let's start the company that does this.
Okay.
Done. Okay. This is
Who's
now
joining?
Trillionaire Club, and we're talking about how we trained neural networks to process not just images, but it is, you see, we see in 3D.
Yeah.
So it has depth.
Yeah.
And it's also temporal. So it has some perception of that as one image is coming before the one that you're seeing right now.
Yeah.
So it's not just photo perception. It's unbelievably efficient.
Yeah. It's interesting with self-driving cars, like they can locate,
Yeah.
they can see what AI can see cars coming, like the signals where they're heading to.
Yeah.
But they're not great at looking at human intent. Like if a construction worker was waving or telling them to stop those signals, it is actually a lot harder for the car's camera to manifest because there's too much data for a human movement to train on.
Yeah, I think it's just capacity or scalability problem at this point. It's some amount of this processing needs to happen in the car.
Yeah.
Versus some of it will be uploaded to the cloud and then maybe like a model update. And because in the car you don't have all those like GPUs installed, because it will be like very bulky, it will require a lot of energy and will generate a ton of heat. That's one of the reasons why they're thinking about building those data centers in the space, because it's just very cold there.
Very cold.
Yeah, it's just all
less
the heat
AC.
Very cool idea.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why the car has to function with limited amount of data, and that's why like building something like even if it sees a child and the child is unhappy, the child will probably not move anywhere. Okay.
Yeah.
So it needs to change its behavior, and it cannot really read faces at this point because it will be overhead for processing. Yeah, cool topic. What do you think about the jobs with the AI?
Yeah, I mean, I hear it everywhere, right? It's like, oh, we're doing layoffs. There's so many layoffs in tech right now.
Yeah.
I actually don't think AI would replace people in per se. Actually, I think it's going to replace like a lot of mundane and manual tasks for people. So I don't think jobs are that much affected as long as people in the workplace are actively learning and using AI in their day-to-day jobs and trying to have it orchestrate a bunch of tasks for them. And so, yeah, so I just urge everyone, I urge everyone to just learn how to use AI and see how you can use AI in your daily jobs and help your company grow.
Do you think AI actually is giving all this additional value at workplace? Or do you think that, like, my experience is that sometimes you kind of have to double check, triple check for hallucinations or just redo the work?
Definitely. So I think AI helps with a lot of like entry level jobs. But then you always need someone to overlook its work.
Yeah.
So I always tell my engineers to code with AI, but like also take a look at it after, and then like use AI to see like what errors they find, whatever.
Yeah,
and
reviews.
Yeah, and I don't want anyone to be like sitting at their desk coding manually anymore, because that's not efficient. But I still need like top talent to like make sure it all works, like the infra and everything. So that's just one example. But I think AI does a really good job with like legal, like documents. It doesn't do well with calculations, but like if drafting legal documents like as a first draft is great. Reading something, like getting to know like what it's saying in layman's terms is great. There's like specific use cases.
Would you trust any of the models to represent you at court?
No, I definitely need someone to. I definitely need someone to like represent me in court. But
accountability, yes, this is what AI will never offer.
But I would love it if they use AI to do a first draft.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, you can use it as a
bill me less,
a word processor, sure. But
billable hours. Yeah.
And same about like, would you trust AI to do a surgery, or would you still want the person to be there and kind of make sure that?
I'm not that bullish on autonomous AI just yet, unless it's like Waymo. I think Waymo's great, but autonomous AI and other applications, I'm not super confident about it just yet. Like even for my company, we like look at everything. We have someone like there's dashboards that flag words, trigger words. We have someone monitoring conversations all the time, and so I always feel like there has to be someone to overlook it, but it just makes your job a lot easier, right? And you can do more like strategic things in your job than like doing the manual like typing of something. Yeah. So I think it doesn't replace jobs. It just makes your job a lot easier.
Yeah. So I think the pattern here is, and you're good at patterns. The low risk stuff is something that AI can be used to help with. High risk stuff is, we still would like to have human in the loop.
Totally. Yeah.
Very cool. Talk a bit more about if you have any special relationship with your fashion tastes. Does it help you to feel better in your personal or professional life? Do you see yourself maybe like going into like style at some point? Maybe like some kind of like influencing from the beauty and the fashion side?
Yeah, and I have done fashion influencing in the past. I actually did do some like promo modeling for some brands as well too, or they set me like pieces and I just wear it and post on my story, and reels, watches as well too. Yeah, I really like fashion. I think it's it's like the interaction with your identity and your intention.
Yeah.
Like what you want to represent and what you're trying to communicate to others, but keeping it authentic as close as possible. And it's also like who you are too. So some people with the same intention in a meeting, let's say, like they would come up with very different outfits because their identities are different. And I think that's what I love about fashion. Everyone is different. The way they wear things is different. Like what colors bring out certain parts of them is different. Yeah. So I would love to get more into fashion. I think like 2 years ago when I started my company, I was very not fashionable. But then recently I've been like trying to be more expressive and strategic with fashion. And I think my wardrobe, like, I think it doubled from 2 years ago.
Yeah, now you're going to have a problem of what to do with all the stuff you're not wearing.
Oh my God, yeah. I'm excited to donate all that.
Awesome. Are you strategic in your choices around your style?
Yeah, so I really like to buy like timeless classics that kind of exhibit like minimalism, elegance. Yeah. So, and in terms of strategic, I do tailor to the event I'm at and the dress code and what I'm trying to like represent, because reality is like people do care about how you look, and they make a judgment about you, like even before you say anything based on like what you're wearing, how you look. And so I try to be as strategic as possible. It all depends on how much time I have to get ready and how much time I can go into my closet to pick out something. And like for my makeup, for beauty and makeup, it's I had the same makeup since like 10 years ago. I haven't changed that yet, and I think it's just like what I'm familiar with. Yeah. But I do want to explore that a bit more. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think this is where all the high quality cosmetics come from, like Eastern cultures. Specifically Asia would be a very interesting world to explore. And also opportunity to kind of tell more people that, hey, I'm a huge fan of Korean cosmetics, as I mentioned in the very beginning.
Yes.
And maybe you can become like a brand ambassador for one of the brands there.
Yeah, I was just in Korea and I really loved all the products I got. And it really complemented my skin really well. And and I did some like lasers and microneedling when I was there too. And I really see a big difference in my skin. So I am trying to hone in more onto skincare and beauty to kind of erase the aging I did to myself the last 2 years from working so much and not sleeping enough.
Do you still see a lot of incentive to make yourself look the best in everyday life, while you can just slap maybe like a face filter using like FaceApp or Facetune and whatnot, and post it out there, knowing that majority of people still maybe only see the digital version of you?
I still try to make an effort when I go outside for most of the time when I'm especially at social events. Yeah. So yeah, and it's also like the presence, like I'm a true believer in like physical presence. It's like if you really care about how you look and you put the time into it, like people you're sharing parts of yourself to others.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, without even speaking. So I really like that type of expression. Like it's like an art. Yeah, so I try my best to like allocate time to get ready before I go out, especially like for galas and everything. Like choosing my outfits ahead of time, coordinating with my girlfriends to see like if we wanted to color coordinate. I love dressing up with my friends and like on like a specific theme. So every time we have dinners, we've always like chose a theme and we like wore like similar things to it, and we like talk about what pieces we chose. And I think it's a great way for me to connect with people, so they learn more about like my choices and like what I like. I love
your dress.
Yeah, oh my God, where'd you get it from? You look so good. Yeah. I love it. Yeah. And then like also just like sharing clothes sometimes. Like I have some friends who give me their clothes and I give them my clothes because we're like, hey, I think you might like this more than I would. Yeah, so I think in a way it's also like sharing. Yeah, my sister is a lot taller than me, and it's funny every time her dryer over dries some of her dresses and they shrink. She gives me her dresses, so I always have a joke with her. I'm like, I hope you always over dry your clothes, so I can't wear clothes. She recently gave me this cashmere dress that fits me perfectly because it shrunk.
Is she also here?
She was in San Francisco. She now lives in Denver.
Balance of your technical strengths and your creative side.
Yeah, so I like to be creative by attending music shows like the symphony, ballet, opera, and do scenic photography, go on hikes and walks with like near the water and take photos of that. And I think it keeps my intuition very sharp when I try to apply pattern recognition and like problem solving in different like areas. And then when I come back into like my technical work, I feel like refreshed and I'm able to like see, like, I think sometimes a solution just comes up to me a lot faster. Yeah. So yeah, I think having both is so important to me because I definitely need to be creative so I could have better product ideation. So I know what to be technical on. So it's a good balance of building and ideating together.
Very cool. Very cool. Okay, let's talk about the future a bit. So what does personal success mean to you? Like, I know your parents have lots of expectations about what they want you to be, but like when you look at yourself like 5-10 years from now, what would make you happy about your purpose?
Yeah, so I think and I'm not, this is not a refined answer whatsoever, but I feel like my purpose in life is to help others and influence others because at the end of the day, we all lay in the same coffin and your fame, wealth, they all die with you. And so, but your legacy can stay if you help others and make their lives better. And so to me, personal success is when I help to the best of my abilities, my loved ones, my parents, my family, and my friends like succeed and like become be able to achieve things they never thought they could, give them help if they ever need it, and help them through hard times. So I believe that like being an entrepreneur helps with that because I already know I've inspired so many different people to become entrepreneurial and like be like boss ladies and like stand up for themselves and not rely on like men or marriage to get what they want. I'm just saying some people do. And just become like whatever you need, you can get it yourself kind of thing. And don't take no for an answer and don't let people who tell you you can't do something undermine you and that you have the potential to do anything you want as long as you put your mind to it. And that's how like delusional I am. Like I truly do believe that like if I put my mind to something, I can definitely get it done. And so I would
that's
want...
called neuroplasticity. There is nothing like, it's not that delusional, it's just the amount of effort is different, of course.
Yeah.
Sometimes something very difficult requires a lot of effort and you just don't have enough lifespan for this.
Yeah.
But overall, it's not delusional.
Nice. Good to hear.
But the pushback for your head is like, say 10 years from now, you inspired all those women to be like the boss ladies and they will come to you and say, hey, what is this? I don't have time to date, so where's my family now? What would you say?
That's so funny because I get hit with the same criticism myself. People are like, Maggie, like, why aren't you dating? Like, go out. And I'm like, I can't. That's not my priority. So, it depends on the person's goals. And like most of my friends do have significant others. But I mean, if people wanted to become like a very hands-on like entrepreneur, like I would be a great inspiration for that because I'm always on and I also like work very hard. So a lot of younger females actually DM me and tell me like, oh, you inspired me so much to work hard, like quit partying, like who cares about pleasure and fun, right? When you can like build something fulfilling that can change people's lives, like make people, like for me, like helping people create their own like AI-enabled business, like make passive income. To me, that's more fulfilling. But I mean, I'm no judgment on anyone. Like I think everyone has their own goals. And so if like starting a family is like their goal, then like, great, I want to support my friends in that. And like, there's definitely for everything that goes up, there has to be something that goes down. Yeah.
Yeah. Very balanced approach. I love it. Okay, let's do a quick Q&A. It's 3 questions that I purposefully didn't put there, so,
Ooh, okay.
so you don't have
Down.
no idea.
Okay.
Don't think too much. They are not serious, so it's more to have fun.
Okay.
Question number 1: which famous person would you switch your closet with?
Miranda Kerr.
Marion Kerr, perfect. Which Disney character reminds you most of your ex-boyfriend?
Disney character?
Yeah.
Shrek. No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding.
Oh my God. But Shrek was actually really, it grossed really well in the box offices all over the world. So that means that if you make money, it doesn't matter how you look if you're a guy.
Totally. I never cared about looks.
Perfect. And then recommend the movie.
Inception.
Love it. Okay. Awesome. So what's next? What do you have? Are you doing like any other event anytime soon? Like where can people see you next time?
In person?
Yeah. Or in some digital presence.
I would say just follow me on Instagram just to see where I'm going to be. I actually don't even know my own schedule. Like I'm spontaneously going to Vietnam in a week now.
Spontaneous Vietnam. Yeah.
Yeah.
Suspense, guys. Suspense.
Suspense, yeah. To be continued.
Where's Maggie next?
Yeah.
Right, Maggie. Love it. Cool. Your IG is Maggie Sin?
Yes, Maggie with an extra E, Sin.
Yeah. Awesome. Any other ways, any other like social handles you have?
Yeah, LinkedIn, Twitter, X. Yeah. I'm basically on most social media platforms, but Instagram is like my main one.
Yeah.
So go find me there. I post regularly there. If you want to know more about my life, that's like where to go.
And where can people talk to your digital replica that I know you part of your technology stack?
mycompanions.ai website.
mycompanions.ai, guys. Okay, so Maggie is always available there.
24/7,
24/7.
high response times.
Yeah.
Better than in person.
Awesome. Okay, thank you for coming. Thank you for spending all this time with us. We wish you luck, and we are going to do a lot of cool things together.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. This has been great.
Right, guys, this was Maggie Sin. Follow her, find her on mycompanion.ai. And we'll see you in the next episode. Cheers.
Cheers.